What's up, guys? We're going to give you 10 terms you need to know. Elvis is going to read them off, and then I'm going to give you my definition. Click subscribe, by the way.
We got purchase and sales agreement.
Purchase and sales agreement. When there's no realtor involved, and one party agrees to sell, and the other party agrees to buy, they enter into a purchase and sales agreement. Involving a realtor or lawyers only overcomplicates. Next term.
Next, assignment of rights.
Assignment of rights is when somebody is going to assign the rights to their transaction or the proceeds, anything positive other than, debt and all the crap that you don't want, the benefits of the transaction, money that you might make, other benefits you may receive. You are assigning the rights to those to the person who is purchasing the property or who has sold it or assigned it for you.
Balloon payments.
Balloon payment. Do not confuse this with balloon knot. That is something totally different. You could find that on our Pornhub channel. A balloon payment is when you borrow money from somebody on a mortgage or you give somebody a loan and it comes due in a set amount of time, let's say 12 months, and then there's a balloon payment. So I've given you $100,000 for 1 year with no payments, but it's all due with 12% interest at the end of 1 year. That payment at the end is known as a balloon payment.
All right, chain of title.
Chain of title. So think about this, just like chain smoking, one after the other, after the other, after the other. Chain of title is really simple. It is everybody who has owned that property since that property's inception, since it has been subdivided and made part of a town or a county. It's everybody that has owned it since the first owner till present day.
All right, cloud on the title.
A cloud on the title is a blemish that sits on top of a deed that needs to be discharged in order for the title to transfer clearly to the next person. So if I had a purchase and sales agreement with you and you recorded your purchase and sales agreement on my property, I could not conceivably get title insurance and sell that property till that cloud has been discharged. It is hanging over my head. It needs to be taken care of.
Deed.
Deed is something that transfers or takes ownership from one person or one entity and then transfers it over to another. When you went out, if you own a property and you bought it with a mortgage, the minute the seller's pen came off the first copy of the deed, title transferred, and you owned that property. Deficiency judgment. Deficiency judgment is something that pertains to a short sale. If you owe more on your property than it's worth, let's say it's worth $200,000 and you owe $3,000, and you are subject to and go through a short sale, you're going to cut $100,000 off that loan and sell it for $200,000. Where does that $100,000 go? If you've negotiated your short sale correctly, like we do right here in-house, you will not get a deficiency judgment. But if you choose to work with or like I like to call them, realtors, and they get them done really quickly, they may get it done so quickly that you'll sign off on something unknowingly, making you responsible for that other $100,000, which is then garnished against your wages, your pension plan, any income that you may get for the rest of your life till it's paid off. It's basically child support for a kid that you don't have. Thanks, realtors.
Due on sale.
Due on sale clause is something that every residential mortgage has had since the Federal Depository Act of 1982, if you want to read it. And that's because banks actually make more money by writing you a new mortgage than they do by allowing that property to transfer from one owner to another. Theoretically, if you take a property out of your name and transfer it into an LLC, or if you take a property out of somebody else's name and transfer it into your LLC or a land trust, there is a due on sale clause on that mortgage that says that the entire amount is due upon transfer. Per my experience, which is vast, I have never seen it called due even when I call the bank and make them aware of the fact that we are transferring the property and circumventing the due on sale clause. If you transfer a property out of an individual's name and put it into a land trust, that is the one situation where the due on sale clause will not be called due. However, if people are not making payments and the property is in foreclosure, that due on sale clause is already being called due. Title can still transfer anyway, even though every title company in the United States of America will tell you it can't. It can, you just can't get title insurance. Ask me how I know that.
Earnest Money.
Earnest Money. If you're talking to a realtor, if you've taken a realtor's class, they're going to let you think that it's at least $1,000. That is bullshit. Earnest Money is a binder deposit. It is something of value that you exchange with a seller as the buyer in order to solidify or bind the contract. $1 is enough. We've also had people come in here that have bought houses with as little as a can of Pepsi or 2 watermelons.
Equity.
Equity is the difference between the value of a property and the debt load. So if you've got a house that's worth $300,000 and they owe $150,000, there's, hypothetically speaking, $150,000 in equity in that deal or on that property. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Hey, what are you doing? What are you thinking about? Hit the subscribe button.